All right, I'm going to show you how I do it really quickly. I have one that is not pleated, so we're going to go over how to do the pleats pretty quickly. All the rest of mine are made up, and this one is one of the ones that actually has a seam. So it's enclosed with the open ends that'll be covered with the binding. So it ends up being like this, and then you put the binding with the straps on either end. So this is one that I have. I usually have a whole stack of these. They can all be the same direction with the seam side up. I just find it easier to do them all the same. It doesn't really matter any precise thing with the pleats as long as they're even and they'll stay and they're reinforced so they won't come apart. So I just made up my own little template. Makes it really fast. It says seam or hem because some of them have hems instead of a seam. And then the other side is the fold. And so I have my fold side down and I just have a whole stack of them and I do them all at once. So I will just line that up. Let me see where you can see. I will line that up quickly. It again is not really super precise, as you can tell. So I'm going to do one with a water soluble marker, which is what I prefer, but I'll also show you how to do it with pens pretty quickly. So I just put this template on anywhere at the end, and then I will line it up and then start marking for those pleats. And then I move it to the other side, and I'll do this side with pins just in case you don't have a water soluble marker. Just make sure that they are perpendicular to your edge, because they will actually, if you use the pins, it takes a little bit more time to use pens sometimes, but it actually will help you to make your folds. So if that's what you prefer, this is not a bad way to do it either. So then it ends up lining those up with your marks. And I'm going to show you the first way. So I even marked on here which way my folds, I had been pushing towards my seam. So what I do is I start at my middle one, and these are going to be marked. These are, you want to make sure that your tops are matching when you do it. You don't want them going off like this while you're doing it, or you're going to have your pleats all crooked. Nothing like this. You want it to match pretty quickly. You can just fold towards your seam. And I eyeball it. You could also make a template that shows you to where, and you could mark to where your pleat is going, but I do about that much for my first one. I remove that, stick it in, and then the next one is going to mark, you're going to fold it again at the pin or at the mark, and then you only go as far as that last pleat. So you don't want them overlapping and having too much bulk. Hope it's focusing. You want it to go just as far. So on this side, you can see I used the pin to fold flat again, but then I only fold it as far as that other pleat that I just went to. So now they're nesting right next to each other. Pull that pin out and put it in. And these will go straight across. You don't really want them kind of wonky now, because you want them to meet your other pleats on the other side as a straight line. So keep them as straight as you can on this edge. This should be a straight line before you sew it. And again, this last one, you're going to fold at the mark that you have made, and then you're going to bring that mark right up to that middle pleat. And you don't, again, want it to overlap the middle pleat, because you do, with some fabrics especially, you're going to get too much bulk. So your pleats will be right next to each other, but not overlapping. I'm going to show you with the other side. With just the marks, I just fold it right at my mark, making sure that it's flat and I catch both pieces of fabric at the same place. Okay. And then I'm again folding same direction towards my seam. Do you have to fold towards the seam? No, because on the other side it's not going to be folded. But if I keep them all the same, it makes it really fast to make sure that I'm folding them the same way on one side as the other. So there, again, I am just eyeballing that small amount. It is about, what is this? Like 3/8 of an inch or so. Yeah, a little bit, maybe more like a 1/2 inch. You can make it a little bit smaller or a little bit bigger, but put that one in. Make sure again that you're going straight down from there. That will help you later on. And this is the fold going towards the seam that's going to match up to the center. And then this one is my line. Again, I'm folding on those lines. And the first time this gets washed, those lines disappear. So even if it is too long past our binding. So I folded it flat, but then I'm going to bring it back to just next to my center. And again, that would not be straight. I need to bring that up to make it a straight line. So across the top, make sure you have a straight line. And what'll happen after you get that third pleat on that last side is you should be able to just pop it and it'll show you your straight lines. And then I just leave them in a huge stack, just like this. And then for mine, I'm sewing over the pleats just one time on these.